KOCO5 Sports with Brian Keating.
Coming up next on The Big Show,
Durant goes down hard.
how the mighty have fallen.
That fall woke me up.
KD takes a tumble, and the Thunder are taking their lumps.
We didn't do a very good job of obviously making shots.
What's wrong with Oklahoma City? We'll tell you next. Plus, Steven Adams as the instigator.
Adams and Sanders getting after each other.
Reggie Jackson looking for answers, and Russell Westbrook gets a nickname.
That nickname means a ton to him.
And quite a weekend for the Sooners and Cowboys.
Markel Brown for the lead. Got it!
We're handing out grades next on KOCO5 Sports. Hey everybody, welcome into the Big Show tonight. I'm Sports Director Brian Keating alongside Abigail Ogle.
We'll cut that beautiful open for you.
That's exactly right. You know, big show tonight. A lot of hoops. First weekend in the state without college football. We do have a lot of hoops to talk about.
All things hoops,
You're
really.
right. That means we got to start with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Hey, it's been an interesting week for the Thunder, starting with the loss to the Utah Jazz that happened on Tuesday night. As a game, Kevin Durant scored 48 points. Gordon Hayward, though, he had a bunch for the Jazz. At one point, he scored 17 in a row. So the Thunder lose to the Jazz in Salt Lake City. It was a bad way to start the week. Then Kevin Durant turned around and they went to Denver, and they didn't play very well that night either. Tuesday night, got blown out of the Mile High City, 101 to 88. Excuse me. Said ugly last night. They did win this one, so that's a positive note. Durant scored 33. Thunder won that one, 101 to 85. So 1-2 this week. It gets us to our questions, I guess, at this point. On a scale of 1 to 10, let me ask you, how concerned are you about the Thunder going forward?
Obviously, they haven't been playing their best basketball right now. I think they would tell you that. But my level of concern, honestly, is at 3.5.
Not very much.
Their shots will start falling again. They're 5th in the league in points per game. And all things aside, Russell's going to be back. No need for panic
You're
here.
right about
3.5.
that. All right, moving forward with Russell, there's a concern of 0. But without Russell Westbrook, my level of
10?
concern is 10. 10 out of 10. Can I go to 12?
They're
How
tied-
about 14?
they're tied for second
Hey,
in the
frankly,
Western
they're not
Conference.
very good without Russell Westbrook.
That's
I got to
true.
say it. They're mediocre at best. Since his injury, they've lost to the Nets, Jazz, and Nuggets.
And almost the Bucks,
They're
honestly.
6-5. They didn't play very well last night. So Reggie Jackson, hey, he only had 2 points last night. Made 1 of 8 shots. You concerned about Reggie?
My level of concern for Reggie right now is at a steady 5. Last night, not his best performance. He would tell you that as well. The last 10 games, though, he's been shooting 40% from the field, about 14 points per game. And Brian, a couple games ago, we were talking about him maybe being a 6th man of the year contender.
I think he's
so I'm giving him a 5 for that inconsistency.
He's a 6th man of the year contender as a starter. You know, he just hasn't been nearly as good. Since the injury to Russell Westbrook, he's rattled off a 1 for 8, a 4 for 13, a 4 for 19. Right now, he's not making guys better for the Thunder across the board. He's a 1 for 1, really, assist to turnover ratio. That's got to get better. Level of concern 7 as a starter. As a 6th man, he's up there pretty good. Kevin Durant, by the way, leads the league in scoring. He scored 48 points twice the last 5 games. What about this? Your level of certainty that he'll win the MVP.
If this question said, should he win the MVP? Of course, a 10, no doubt about it. I'm at a 6.5. No team has a player like Kevin Durant that carries his entire team on his back, on his shoulders to get wins. But will he? My level of certainty, 6.5, unfortunately.
My level of certainty, I think he's going to win this thing. It's an 8.
He should.
He's going to have to average 30 to 35 points for the Thunder to win games without Russell. He's going to pile up big numbers. He's got a lot of assists at this point, too. So Kevin Durant, yeah, I think he's got a great chance. I think he's going to win the MVP. He's going to take it away from LeBron James. Long ways to go. Last night, speaking of Kevin Durant, very scary moment. Yeah. KD came crashing to the floor. He landed on his back under the basket. The arena went silent. Our guy, Carson Cunningham, one of those people in the building last night.
Oklahoma City's win over Milwaukee was certainly ugly at times, but it was definitely scary in the second quarter when Kevin Durant took a hard fall on his lower back. It was so concerning, the entire Thunder team went to check on him.
Durant goes down hard.
It definitely had your heart beating fast until you get up and you see that he's okay. But when he was down there, you know, you just pray and hope that it's nothing serious.
Kevin is, he doesn't get a lot of credit for this, but he's as tough as anybody in this league. He takes a lot of hard fouls, but he just bounces back.
Man, it's not the first one I took, you know, so I guess I'm used to those. You know, it was unfortunate, but, you know, I was able to get up.
KD would stay in the game, and it really seemed to get him going. Before the fall, he had missed 8 of his 9 shots. After he got up, he made 7 of his remaining 9 shots to finish with 33 points, but most importantly, a 101-85 win.
That fall woke me up. One of my friends texted me after the game, and as soon as he fell, he said he dropped to his knees and prayed for me, so I guess that helped too.
That hard fall did seem to get Kevin going, but whether it was the spill or not, the Thunder hopes he does not have to do that again Tuesday night at Memphis. Reporting in Chesapeake Energy Arena, I'm Carson Cunningham for KOCO 5 Sports.
Hey, thanks a lot, Carson. More Thunder later in the show. Don't worry about that. Next, though, hey, big wins. Sooners and Cowboys over the weekend. We'll hear from both teams next. You know, we had a big weekend for college hoops. Sooners lost to Kansas in the midweek, but they got a huge win on Saturday, beat the 9th-ranked team in the country, beat Iowa State at home. So let me ask you, I think this one's probably easy. Like, we hand out some grades. What's the grade? Just Sooner win.
You obviously have to give the Sooners an A for this when they took down the only team left undefeated in the Big 12. Iowa State was 14-0 heading into this one. Out-rebounded the Cyclones 41-34, and they held ISU to 23% from beyond the arc, which usually they were pretty solid at.
Yeah, they did a nice job. That's a big-time win for Oklahoma. I can't give it anything but an A+. The thing that impressed me the most, they made 13 out of 33s, and they average about 8 a ball game, so it means they shot the lights out of it.
Nice.
They had 8 players play 7 or more minutes. So I think Lon Kruger's established some pretty good depth there at Oklahoma. And playing hard, I've said this a long time, playing hard, you would think that would just be easy. You go, well, if you go play hard, everyone should play hard all the time. Playing hard is a skill. A lot of teams don't do it for 40 minutes. They do it for 40 minutes. They did a really nice job and always do. I think that's a great A+. A+ for Ryan Spangler. Go. Right? He was great.
Of course, you got to give him an A+. 16 points, 15 rebounds. A+ for Ryan Spangler, and also he had 2 key blocks in the game, and he was the only Sooner with any blocks. 4 from 5 from the field, 89% from the stripe. Very good performance from him.
Yeah, I point out Ryan Spangler because he's from Blanchard. He scored 16 points, had 15 rebounds. He was the one guy I thought for Oklahoma that really dominated the basketball game. He gets an A+ from me. Junkyard dog kind of a guy. Ryan Spangler. Lon Kruger.
We got a long way to go, and it's a group that love to work with every day because they love being in the gym, and they are receptive and they want to get better, and I think they recognize that we've got a lot of work to do.
This win was a must-win for us, and we had to come down and execute our game plan. Iowa State was a great team. Can shoot the ball well. They get a lot of mismatches. Just like us. So we just had to find a way to win the game at the end, and we did that. And Coach Kruger called some good plays down the end, and we'll be successful.
Must win. I don't know about must win, but it's a great win.
It was a huge win for them. Big momentum. That was a big league win, man.
Big week coming up. They got Kansas State on Tuesday. They got to go on the road and try to win there. OSU, they went on the road over the weekend. That one wasn't easy against West Virginia. Did get a W. Marcus Smart was great. Markel Brown hit the game winner. So what's the grade for the Cowboys?
I'm going to give the Cowboys a B+ for this one. It's hard to get a road win like that. It's hard to come back, but they stayed composed. They took back the lead, as you see right there, with 11 seconds left from Markel Brown. 40% from the three-point line, 45% from the field. Got to think head coach Travis Ford is pretty content with those numbers.
I think it's a good win because it's going to be hard to win in West Virginia. They've lost twice at home, but that's to Gonzaga and Oklahoma State. I think it's going to be very difficult. They get a B from me. Rebounding will be an issue. Got to do it without Michael Cobbins.
All 5 guys are going to have to contribute rebounding. So, it's definitely a process. We did a lot of other little things that we've actually talked about that we're going to have to do. So, it's going to be a little bit of a give and take.
Oh, it's going to take all 5. It's going to take even Lil Phil and Stevie to get in there. We call them salt and pepper. It's going to take those guys to grab 3 or 4 rebounds.
I like the way he said. No, that's right. Cowboys, they have TCU Wednesday. They go to Kansas on Saturday. Look at the standings. Anything jump out? A lot of good teams for me.
Look how many ranked teams there are. I want to ask you, when was the last time, if ever, that the Big 12 was a basketball conference?
It's better than football. There's no question. We just spent the whole
great.
football season talking about how the Big 12 wasn't any good. Look at a bunch of ranked teams, bunch of tough gyms. Winning any game on the road, you're going to have to do it a few times to win the league, but tough sledding in the Big 12, no doubt. All right, coming up next, Pick 5. What are we talking about? We're talking KD. We're talking nicknames.
Yes.
And the Cowboys' big loss over the weekend. Welcome back to the big show tonight. Brian Keating, Abigail Ogle. It is pick 5 time. Little what's the word, starting with the fall that scared us to death.
That fall woke me up. One of my friends texted me after the game, and soon as he fell, he said he dropped to his knees and prayed for me, so I guess that helped too.
Pick one.
Nice friend.
What's the word? Your first thought when Durant hit the floor was blank.
My honestly first thought was just, and then I held my breath with the rest of Oklahoma City. And then I took a nice exhale when he got up. You know, Brian, though, it makes you really think how quickly the season can end.
Oh, man. Wait. Hey, you gasped. There were a lot of words that I can't say on television that they were going through my head here. I thought this is a catastrophe because it looked so bad. He went up and he got it, and it was dead silent in the arena. A lot of things I could have picked here. Scared to death. I said, please, Kevin, get up. You know, this is about to be an epic disaster, season over kind of a stuff. It wasn't. He got up. He finished the game.
Exhale.
Exhale. Oh, man. We will live to play another day. But
another exciting thing in the game, though.
I get exciting. I don't know. I mean, thank goodness he's okay.
No, not that. It was exciting. Another thrilling thing, maybe.
All right. Steven Adams, you know, you like this guy. He seems to get under the skin of a lot of guys. Last night, Larry Sanders of the Bucks, he was ejected.
Talent is playing hard every time you're on the court, and Steven does that. Whether it gets under a guy's skin, I don't know. I don't particularly know why, but he plays hard. He doesn't want to get into pushing and shoving and looking at you and staring you. He just plays hard and he goes down to the next play.
I think there's a third time Steven Adams has kind of been on the back end of getting the guy kicked out here. So what's the word for on-court conflicts? Finding Steven Adams, it is blank.
He's always in the middle of it lately, and I think he's instigating it, honestly. He gets into their head, and Adams has said that being from New Zealand, he doesn't really know which players are considered elite, and honestly, he doesn't care. He's got Nate Robinson ejected and Vince Carter.
I think it's lazy, because I think it's lazy on the part of the other team, because what Steven Adams does, he just plays so hard all the time. He doesn't always know what's going on. He just runs in there. He's kind of like a bull in a china closet.
Right?
Plays like a chicken with his head cut off. So it's lazy that the other guys, they don't want to play that hard. They don't want to match his intensity. So he gets under guys' skin. He plays hard. I think it's great for the Thunder. Maybe not being in all these altercations, but he plays hard. I think that's good.
And he always comes out smelling like a rose.
He does.
He rarely gets in trouble for it.
Some uniform news over the NBA. They made an interesting decision this week.
A little bit of fun tonight as we debut the name collection jerseys featuring popular nicknames, initials, name abbreviations.
All right, we know what Kevin Durant, he would be KD, right? Serge would be Air Congo. Kendrick Perkins would be Perk. What about Russ? Pick 3.
I thought a lot about this
jersey nickname would be blank.
His nickname would be, now if you're not a fashionista, you might not understand, but he would be Avant Point Guard.
I like that.
Avant-garde means forward thinking. It's usually referred to fashion choices, which we know he likes to make some.
He does.
And then obviously he's a point guard, so a little play on words. Avant Point Guard, I hope he likes it.
I like that. Okay, for me it would be Respect Me Now, because there were a lot of haters about Russell Westbrook over the last couple of years. Hey, he's taking too many shots. He's hurting the Thunder in a lot of ways. I think Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant might be the MVP of the league. Russell Westbrook might be the MVP of this team, just not playing. Respect me now. I think a lot of people are more than they did a couple of weeks ago. I like that. Reports Joe Wickline, former OSU offensive line coach, he has now taken the job of the Texas Longhorns.
And right now it's no contest. Oklahoma State's just pounding them up front.
Well, they did a lot of that over the last 9 years under Joe Wickline. So pick 4, Wickline leaving for Texas is blank.
He's been at Oklahoma State for almost a decade. This is very foreboding of things to come, Brian. They allowed very few sacks, that offensive line. They allowed a great running game in recent years. Now he's taking that to a different shade of orange. Foreboding.
He's a good coach. I mean, there's no question about that. I mean, I'm going to say it's a nightmare, and not a nightmare that they necessarily just lose him. There are a lot of good coaches across the country, and he's one of the best. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I say it's a nightmare because you call Bedlam, Sugar Bowl, Cotton Bowl, and now Joe Wickline leaving. It has been an awful month for Oklahoma State football. There are better days ahead, I think, but hey, it's been a nightmare for OSU football, and they got to stop the bleeding at some point.
Definitely losing
Didn't
one.
happen today.
Definitely losing one that they really didn't have room to lose.
That's right. Pick 5. All right, 4 teams left in the NFL playoffs. Patriots, Seahawks won yesterday. 49ers and Broncos won today.
We'll enjoy this one. You're supposed to enjoy these wins. That they're hard to come by, and start working on the Patriots tomorrow.
All right, it's that simple, right? If you're Peyton Manning. 4 teams left. Who you got? 2 teams that will go to the Super Bowl will be blank.
The Broncos and Seattle will be playing in the Super Bowl. The Broncos 13-3. The Pats aren't great on the road. That's who they'll be facing. Seattle and 49ers. Seattle's nearly unbeatable at home.
They are. They are nearly unbeatable at home. I think you're on the right track. I think Broncos, Seahawks are moving on. They've been the 2 best teams all season. They're the 2 teams playing at home. They're going to the Super Bowl next. All right, one more break on the big show. Who's winning the internet? Hey, we're going to stay in Denver tonight. It's next. All right, Abigail, Wes Welker is winning the internet.
Absolutely.
Hey, he came back. He's had a couple of concussions this season. He's wearing a big helmet. You know,
and everyone does
this. We're really happy
internet.
that he's out there playing. We're glad he's back. We only kid because we love him. It's just a big helmet.
It's a big helmet.
Big helmet.